very like a very smart level. I don't know. Smart level of play. Like Lucy's just very difficult. Like you'll never see her in low elo because like a bunch of people in low elo play Mongo comps, which is like serious rook, and they're just gonna roll over your Lucy because she doesn't know how to peel for herself.
Oh, I'm healing you.
Thank you.
No problem, man.
Oh. Why are you clarity potion just randomly?
I was thinking you're about to use your toxin. Or not your toxin, your panic, or I don't know, your E.
The panic's the hardest thing to hit with the clarity potion. You have to see it winding up and
Right.
coming at you, and then you gotta land it. Like it's really difficult. Little pansy. Like it's hard for me to even react and do it. It's a pretty difficult tech. No, I'm not gonna get it.
Ah, damn it. I was hoping to push it back towards the middle.
That's another good thing to do with your clarity potion. Keep them in your ulti. So I'm glad that you were kind of picking that up. Lucy's tons of fun though once you start getting the hang of her. Oh, I healed you. LOL. I hate my life. This is so freaking obnoxious though. It's so difficult to do any damage.
Get out of here. No. Oh, no, 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 no. There we go. That's what I wanted. Probably could have just used my Q there instead of my space. Space has more uses than Q, I think.
Well, space just negates like a ton of burst damage, and when you're playing Lucy, it's like, what really is gonna come at you? Like, what's gonna burst you down that much besides the deadly injection, you know?
The death vortex is incoming.
Got him. All right, boys, you listening in chat? It's serious time.
Here we go. My body's ready to be petrified.
Sirius is really big. I'm gonna go over my Sirius build with the chat because that's a really big point of him, so that'll help them out. So I'm gonna give you I'm gonna put the build in chat so you guys get ready for that. This is a high elo Sirius build. Lots of people use this. It's really effective for all-around play. You can play it in solo queue, 3v3, 2v2, doesn't really matter. So, lethal slash, debilitating slash. It's so hard to read these through a browser. Sunbath, lunatic. Yes, it is the serious build, and Sunwell.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious.
The worst.
So, lunatic, sunbath, and lethal slash, I'd say, are the most important things of any serious build. Sunwell's really useful for getting out of scenarios, healing your allies, and keeping your cooldowns available to use for when danger strikes. Lethal slash you definitely need on serious to be able to get orb control and to do massive amounts of burst damage to the enemy. Debilitating slash is fantastic because the weaken duration increases by a whole second, so the enemy can only do 60% of their damage to it takes away 60% of the damage, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so they can only do 40% of their damage to you. Like if you weaken a Jade ultimate, it'll do like 20 damage to you. Full Jade ultimate to the face, 20 damage. So make sure you guys get that build like written down somewhere because it's quite nice. It's quite nice.
All right, Griffin, you gotta go. Go on, pal. Go on.
Oh, sorry. I'm coming.
No, I was telling my dog to get out. He kept on scratching my face.
Alright, so a lot of people play Sirius super aggro, but you really don't have to play Sirius really aggro. Like, in a major aggro like scenario, he may be a melee, but a lot of his damage that's going to be coming out is going to be in small, short bursts that want to be as effective for yourself versus the enemy team. So if somebody's going to be coming at you with a lot of damage, you can weaken them, and that'll cause them to not only lose a massive chunk of HP from your charged strike, but it'll cause them to never be able to do any damage to you. In a serious 1v1, the person who gets weakened first is the loser in the 1v1 usually, because it just does a whole lot. So ways to recharge your empowered M1 is going to be on your Q. So if I hit you and you hit me, oh, okay.
Not bad.
All right, so when that counter's hit, yeah, just keep yourself topped off. So I'm gonna hit you and then hit me right after. So right after that happens, I have another charge up, okay?
Okay.
So that Q resets it. Your EX space also resets it. And it does extra damage and heals extra for your allies. It does extra 4 damage on land and heals 4 extra for your allies. So that's super useful to use in 1v1 situations. Your other... I had to have my space up, you tool. Lunatic is the most important Battlerite on Sirius for sure, which is this, which allows you to recast your Petrify. So you can have longer Petrifies, or you can ensure that you will land your Petrify. Because... Alright, so try to juke out of this Petrify without using space, okay?
Okay.
So I just ensured the way you juke, I'm going to set down the other one, and it ensures me that you are going to get hit by the second Petrify for sure. And if you get hit by the first Petrify, you're going to take a longer Petrify because of it. I make kind of like a Venn diagram with my Petrifies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where the center is like the connection between the direction of where you're moving. So that's really useful. Okay, so with these Battlerites that I talked to the chat about, your Sunwell is super useful because when you if Sam was my ally, my space cooldown would go down to 4 seconds long.
Wow.
So having your space up every 4 seconds is really useful. That means you can go walk in to the enemies, walk in, be aggressive, hit them with some burst, Q. If they hit your counter, you can get more bursts off on them, and then you can space back to your allies. And then you can heal up, and then you can Petrify and CC, and just kind of control the map. So it's all about being patient with Sirius, versus this is the biggest mistake anybody will ever make in this game. And this is Sirius gameplay 101 up to gold. I'm not even joking. Here it is, right here. No matter what. That's all they do. Literally, I tell you what, if you do that above plat or diamond, well, sometimes not even above plat. I mean, they're plat players. Come on. but if you do that above diamond, your Sirius will die in 5 seconds. Like, they will literally insta-killed. Nothing else about it. They're just dead. So that's the basics of Sirius.
Petrify myself. Stones can't take damage.
Stones can break bones.
That's right.
It is no coincidence.
But yeah, playing Sirius is all about putting in your damage and weaken at the right time, the right place. Oh, I forgot to talk about EXM1. Your EXM1 is super useful. It gives Sirius range damage. It's a 22 damage shot that snares the enemy, so you can snare a person, walk up to them, and then auto attack them instead of using your space. Like, mainly Sirius kit is like you're able to walk up to people doing a lot of different things. Did you miss, or did you just bait the counter?
What am I doing? Getting a little bit tired is what I'm doing.
Enemy team won the orb.
Damn, I don't have any fucking energy.
Banana me. Oh.
I can't counter petrify. What am I trying to do?
Your team claimed the orb.
Is R just does damage and is a snare?
Yeah, it's a damage and a snare. It can recharge your ulti if you take a different Battlerite. Like if you're playing, like I wouldn't recommend taking like,
We are remembered.
in some scenarios, Sunwell cannot be that great, so I would take Prismatic Strike. Some scenarios, Sunbath isn't that great, so I'd take Prismatic Strike, which gives you 50% of your charge back on your M1 if you hit an R.
So could you use your R seems to be like a good engage too to save your space, right?
Oh yeah, it's great, and it also helps to get out of like situations like if there's an Ashka stun that's about to hit you and you don't want to take that damage, you can just R yourself out of it because it's a really quick dash. It's not an iframe, but it's a quick dash. Oh, buddy.
Have you played this one before, Paloma?
No.
No? Okay. I can show you some pointers.
Oh, sick.
No problem, man.
May or may not have 1,000 games with Paloma. Does anybody in the chat like Paloma? Because this is your go-to on Paloma 101. Paloma, I'd also say, is pretty Battlerite dependent. She has a lot of cool things. A lot of her abilities are entirely useless, but not really, but like they're very, very, very situational. Paloma's pretty hard to handle because she's one of the supports that can't exactly heal herself that well. So, okay. So she has her Spirit Link or Soul Bolt or whatever, and that applies Spirit Link and Soulbind. So Soulbind is the enemy one. So if you hit multiple people with either your wolf or your auto attack, it causes Soulbind to be applied, and it splits damage, it increases damage, and it spreads it out to whatever that Soulbind's affected by. So if there's 2 people affected by Soulbind, if somebody gets hit with like a 60 damage Jumong ulti, 30%, like a certain percent, yeah, 30% of that damage is going to get inflicted to the other person that Soulbind's connected to. So that's confusing, right?
So Soulbind is with the E?
So Soulbind is auto attacker E. So like if this orb is an ally of yours, I'm gonna hit him and hit you, and this little blue line will appear between the two of you, and that means Soulbind is inflicted on you. And if you take damage, he'll take 30% of that damage.
Okay. All right.
It can be inflicted by wolf as well. And the same thing goes for your allies. If that orb is my ally and I just start shooting that ally, I'm gonna get healed back for 50% of the healing received by allies. Your R is a mimic of your bolts, so it'll just shoot the same as you, but it does a little less. It does 7 damage and 6 healing instead of 10s.
Okay.
And your other side, avoids a ton of damage as well. It can get you out of really bad scenarios, and it heals yourself. So it's really useful to use to get self-heal. Your space is your movement, and it knocks people back if you hit it, and if you recast it, you move to that area. Okay? Your Q is a spell check, so auto-attack me. Just keep auto-attacking me. If I do that, it causes a panic if the person's queuing up a skill. My E is a wolf that bounces between 3 enemies, doing less damage per bounce, and it looks like that. Pretty basic. Her EX abilities are the most important parts of her kit, in my opinion. It's the only things I use while I play her, because my Battlerites, which is Vengeful Spirit, it allows me to Q and then use my space and then Q again. So whenever I Q, she's